Okay, this is Dre here again. You know me, of course. And I'm doing my little series here on the best businesses of the Hudson Valley. And I really got to recommend this place. It's called BigW's. It's just outside of Pauling on the way to Dover on Route 22 over here. And I got to tell you, hands down, the best barbecue I ever had. The brisket is absolutely to die for. So anyway, let me just show you a little bit of the location over here. Here's the sign. There's Route 22. There's the store over there. There's the smoker over there. And here's the guy. Here's Warren, Big W, the man that makes this all happen. So tell me, what makes this stuff so special, huh? What makes it so delicious?
My hands are on it all day long. I mean, that's a little bit not so colorful to think about it, but in fact, we get up really, really early. Come, I'll show you how we do this thing.
Okay.
We get up really early in the morning, take fresh meats, rub them down with brown sugar and spices, and then load them into these smokers. These are my submarines. It's really dark in here. It's hard to believe, but this was actually a white room when we first started it. But what you have in here, these are beef briskets. And these will be in here for about somewhere between 17 to 20 hours. And they'll actually cook in these, what we call reverse vent smokers. What's unique about a reverse vent smoker is that you have a firebox, which is over on this side. And that's producing all of your heat and your smoke. And we're using aromatic woods that have good flavor when they start to burn. Mostly we use shagbark hickory, stone cherry, or what you'd call wild cherry. And we burn them, but you notice the fire is over here, but the meat is over on that side. So what's going on is the heat and the smoke is traveling through the bottom of the bell of this tank. And this is very, very heavy plate steel. So what's happening is the heat is radiating up and the smoke is traveling to the far end where it first enters the chamber and then it comes all the way back. And we're slowing it down with a flue control, and that allows the speed of the smoke and the heat to travel through much slowly, more slowly. And what's happening is, I don't know if you can see with your camera, the difference between the temperature, the color of this metal and the color of this metal. This is extraordinarily hot. It's a furnace. Yet up here, I can easily put my hand on it. This is going to be about 230 degrees when we work with it. And it's going to produce an inefficient fireplace. We're just going to keep going really, really slowly with it. And what's happening is we're balancing. We're balancing mechanical cooking, which is the heat, with the chemical cooking, which is the smoke. If we go too long with one, we make jerky. If we go too long with the other, we wood roast. So it has a very, very faint flavor of smoke. It's cooked very, very quickly, and the textures are different. It's more in line with what you get out of an oven. So what we want right now is we want the meats to be tender and kind of mushy and luscious on the inside. They should be able to pull away with very little effort. And on the edges, I like to have a combination of the brown sugar making little candy on the edges, so you get this little chewy, crunchy business that's going on. It shouldn't all be a nice, neat thing. It should have a little of this and a little of that, so everybody gets their favorite piece out of it. And we have another one over here. This smoker is taking pork shoulders, and these guys are pork shoulders. They'll be in here about 14 hours, and they'll cook. And they're a little different shape than the brisket, and of course they're a different composition because a pig doesn't do a whole lot of work. It's a lot of fat in there. And what goes on is a slower process because it's a denser piece of meat, so that the insides take a little bit longer to cook. And again, there's that outside bark that has the sugars on the outside. Largely these things come out fairly black when we're done. And they look a lot worse than they taste because, in fact, it's not burned. It's very, very caramelized, the sugars. So you get a really, really nice flavor. And the smoke penetrates, but not all the way, as much people like to think that smoke goes all the way in. It actually goes in just about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch over this period of time. And then we pull the whole thing apart, take off a fair amount of the fat, and we use the fat to make our hush puppies and our other things, and then we serve up the pulled pork to you guys. And we tend to keep things very, very simple. We don't sauce our foods for you. You get to do that if you like. We only make 2 different types of sauce. We do a cooked sauce, so that means the components are cooked in a traditional restaurant style, and then we put them all together and we cook the sauce as a whole. It's a little bit extra work. I never intended anybody to actually eat this stuff. I thought the meat would be enough. I was wrong. Then we make something in the area of 14 gallons of sauce every 2 days. So you goof. Best laid plans of mice and men. But it's a tasty sauce. And again, it's always on the side. You get to put as much or as little as you like. And this allows you to try the meat and see what is essentially what is barbecue. What is it supposed to taste like? You know, we had in French kitchens, we had this you know, kind of a word, cache-misère, to hide the misery. When you put a lot of sauce on top of something, it's very easy to get rid of things that you don't want people to taste or see. And there's enough nice things coming out of this smoker that you really don't have to have sauce dripping all over it. But if you like it, we've got plenty.
Well, there you have it, folks, here with Big Warren himself and his delicious barbecue. All I can say is, if you have a moment, come up and eat it, because it's certainly an experience you won't forget. Absolutely delicious. You were